If you've ever wondered whether emotional intelligence can really help in real life, especially in moments of pressure, pain, or recovery, this conversation is for you. Hi, I'm Stephanie Solomon, and welcome to Winning Ways. This week is Hazing Awareness Week, and also spotlighted throughout the month is campus safety awareness, suicide prevention and awareness, and recovery awareness. Each of these topics reminds us how important it is to be aware of ourselves, our emotions, and the people around us. So let's explore how emotional intelligence can offer practical tools that help us navigate these and other challenges. As always, I am coming from a topic from one of my books, and I am excited tonight to be coming from one of my newest books. Yes, over the summer, I penned three new books. Yeah, three during the summer, and they are mini books. So that's probably why I finished so quickly. But what I love about these impactful mini books, I love that they are electronic. I love that they are audio, and I love that they are print, pen to paper. So I did listen to you all. Yes, the author, the teacher in me mainly listened to you. Just leaving them as ebooks was not enough, even though they're short reads. I heard you. I heard you when you said you were thankful that I thought about the different learning modalities and that there were people who were excited about the audiobooks. And I also heard that there are those of you who are fans of my and supporters mostly of what I do say that you really want something tangible. And as an educator, I get it. We have different learning styles. So I heard you and I created paperbacks. So you have a paperback version, you have an audio version, and you have an ebook version. Okay, so I heard you and I moved on it. Well, I'm coming from the third of the series. The series is Emerging, and there are three books: Emerging with Balance, Emerging with Forgiveness, and Emerging with EQ. And tonight I want to come from Emerging with EQ. So when you go on the website, and you go on to Amazon as well, where they are sold exclusively for now. This is what the book looks like. All right. All right. And you can download the audio version on my website. All of that information will be in the description box. All right. Let's move along because I don't want to be long tonight. Well, first of all, what is EQ? Actually, I don't want to get too collegiate here, and I don't want to dummy it down as well. But EQ, in simple terms, is emotional intelligence, which is really EI. Technically, EI is emotional intelligence, but the two acronyms are used interchangeably. And it really means the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to recognize and understand the emotions of others. So let's just look at four things going on here when we talk about Campus Safety Awareness Month, when we talk about Hazing Awareness Week, Recovery Month. Let's look at these things. I'm going to pull just four pieces from my book, and I really encourage you to go and read more for in depth. Emotional awareness. We talk a lot about being aware of this, aware of that, aware of hazing, aware of suicide prevention, aware of this, that, and the other. We need to be aware of us in so many different ways, our emotions, our emotional self. And I always say, feel your feelings. And if you've been with me a while, you know I've talked about it often. Feel it. Recognize your feelings before they control your choices. Notice when pressure, anxiety, fear starts to rise. Give yourself a moment to pause and then respond wisely. And those elements are empathy, self awareness, self regulation, which is sometimes called self management, motivation, and social skills. I hope I said all five of them. All right. So let's look at how self management, which is the part of controlling the response, could help in not only the awarenesses that I mentioned earlier, but other challenges that we tend to have. Let's see how this can help out. Regulate your reactions instead of reacting impulsively. That's self regulation. That is a learned behavior. And trust me, it is ongoing. It is ongoing. Every aspect, really, every element of emotional intelligence to me is ongoing. Staying calm under stress requires patience, fortitude, self control, temperance, the fruit of the spirit, definitely. But it's ongoing. Staying calm under stress allows you and I to protect ourselves. And when we protect ourselves in stressful, high pressured situations, we tend to make clear decisions. I am excited about new additions to my author store from the Emerging series. 3 impactful mini books with their own audio version narrated by yours truly. Enjoy a complimentary gift with your purchase. Scan the QR code and click the link to start growing on the go today. And as I said, I'll have the links in the description box where you can order your books. Oh, let's get to it. And yes, someone is saying this is so much easier said than done. I agree. As I said, these are practices, practices. That means that we're practicing, not to be perfect, but to be better. And it's better to practice to become than to remain in a fragile place. All right. So we're working on a posture becoming better. So that requires practice. This third aspect or piece from my book, Emerging with EQ, comes from the section of Me 2.0, and it deals with our social awareness, learning how to read the room, read people's behaviors, body language, what people are not saying or doing, and what people are saying and doing. Some the nonverbal cues, understanding what's happening in our space, in and around us, how others are feeling, and how we are feeling with the dynamics that are happening right before our eyes. Being aware of group dynamics or those warning signs help you and I avoid risky situations. Please read more of what I have to say about this in Emerging with EQ. Struggling to forgive yourself or heal from church hurt or family offenses? With life coaching from Evolve for Life, you'll be equipped and empowered to grow, move forward, and thrive in your personal development. Sign up today and begin your transformation. And that link for coaching sessions will be in the description box as well, where we can talk in more detail and also secure and tailor make a a session and a program, a strategy plan, just action plan just for you. Let's finally look here at our last point, 'cause I am really working on being very, very short this year. Not going to be long winded. Let's look at this point that I pulled also from Emerging with EQ. Decision making. Choose wisely. We all mess up and make if you're like me, you kicked yourself many a time in the rear end because your choices weren't wise, or you knew you saw red flags, pink flags, orange flags, and decided, oh no, it's not what I think it is. I'm an overthinker. It's not that, and it was very much that. But let's learn to choose wisely. As I talk about in the book, trust your gut. Trust that brain in your gut. I am telling you, my gut has been letting me know for years. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I have transparency. I tell my stories because they're my stories, right? But my gut has been telling me for years, since a little girl. It took me years to put the puzzle together, from having shaky legs, and I've talked about this before, having shaky legs, as a young child, and then it turned into upset stomachs. No one could figure out what it was. Oh, she didn't eat, blah, blah. Then it turned into chest pains, and then that went away for a while. And then at 14, migraine headaches. And that went away after a few treatments. And then it came back again and then went away. Then the chest pains came back again. And then the abdominal pains came, and they came back ferociously. And each time I would go to a physician, they would end up saying, "You're in good health. There's nothing wrong with you." And I'm thinking, "Oh, they must think I have other things to do than to put on so that you guys to give me attention or whatever." And it would end up with, "Do you have anyone to talk to?" And I remember the last time a doctor said that to me, I literally sat there and cried, and I was embarrassed for crying, but the tears just came out. It was, because I'm like, this is the third time. I know what I'm feeling. And the person said, I believe you. I believe you are feeling these things. But medically, physically, there's nothing here. And so it took me getting to a place, and it took a while to realize that I thought stress looked one way, but it looked another. And my body was telling me. And I started noticing when these things were happening, and who, and where, all of those. And I started notice some common elements, and my body was letting me know when I was in certain situations, certain environments, around certain people, that I was experiencing, my body never forgot the trauma. And trauma isn't always the worst thing we can imagine, and sometimes it is. But the traumas were emotional, they were verbal, some were physical, but my body didn't forget. And no matter how I tried to be someone else in those spaces and in those rooms with these individuals, my body remembered those people and the energy that they brought. And so I began to learn ways to protect Stephanie at all cost. And in doing that, I learned to choose wisely and to choose in a healthy way what was best for me. All right. So that's my story. And I believe that there are others who have similar stories. Choose wisely for yourself, for those who you love, because, if we aren't at our best, those who are around us and things that we are stewardship over will not get the best version of us. All right. And we leave things and people vulnerable as well. And we don't want to do that. So make wise decisions. Use your awareness and your emotional understanding to make choices that keep you safe and aligned with your values. That was another thing. I was betraying myself. I was not so much denying myself, I was betraying myself. I wasn't being kind or good to myself for the sake of keeping the peace or not going against the grain. And I learned that going against the grain and keeping the peace wasn't for me. It was for others. And there really was no peace. Really wasn't. So I understand that we all have our own adaptive ways of trying to deal with challenges, whatever they are. We need to understand that if those ways aren't healthy or wise, we are harming ourselves and could be harming others as well. All right. So, without getting too deep and too long into that, I just want you to understand emotional intelligence helps you and it helps you weigh the impact of your actions and choose the path that preserves your well being. To answer the question, yes, emotional intelligence helps us all. It helps us out if we take the time to notice our feelings, manage our responses, understand what's happening around us, and make thoughtful choices that protect our well being. Practicing these skills doesn't just keep us safe in our challenging situations, it helps us navigate life with more wisdom, more confidence, and more peace. So I encourage you to read Emerging with EQ in its entirety. You can log on onto Amazon. You can log on to my author store for your purchases. The links, as I said earlier, are in the description box. I am glad that you decided to tune in tonight. It's been a minute. Yes, I enjoyed the summer like many of you, and I'm back. And I have to admit, this felt kind of weird because I haven't been on this platform and the interface has changed a lot, but I'm glad to be back and I'm glad to share and I'm glad to talk about my writings as I always am. But until the next time, remember, grow through whatever you go through. Why? Because your growth is your superpower. Take care until the next time. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so today.